Alright fam, it's the moment you all been waiting for. It's the inaugural first drink of coffee on camera for the new year. It's good. It's good. Happy New Year's, guys. Let's get into a tutorial. Let's go. What's up, fam? It's your boy DKG72, and one of the questions that I'm always asked by young artists is, when you're starting a comic book page, or any work of art for that matter, what's the first thing that you draw? And for me, it's the perspective grid. Very simple answer. A lot of explanation to come with that. So let's get into it. There's a couple of reasons why I start with the perspective grid first. One, it establishes my ground plane, and then it helps me establish not only the shot selection, but also the angles of my shots, and just basically helps me build the world before I get into all the super fun stuff like, you know, muscle-bound superheroes punching each other, or grizzled veteran detectives finally solving the case. Things like that. Things that come with a great narrative. One of the first things you want to do as a visual storyteller is you want to establish the ground plane. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. You're probably thinking to yourself, well, Dave, what does that mean? Establish the ground plane. I don't understand these words you're using. All right, let me explain it a little bit deeper for you. The ground plane is the area below or on your horizon line. Basically, what you're doing is you're establishing the ground so it doesn't look like your characters are floating in the middle of the air. And you know, you got two guys standing next to each other, but one guy's like higher than the other guy, and it just looks weird. Have you ever had that before? Because it just looks odd. So you don't want that oddness. Establishing the ground plane and using the perspective grid to establish your ground plane is a good way to alleviate that problem. Because what's happening is that you can actually use the lines in the perspective grid to establish where your characters are standing. So if their heels on one line and their toes on the other, you're ensured that even if it's two characters of varying heights, that they're on the same plane and they're looking at each other the correct way the eye lines are looking. You know, if it's 7 foot tall guy, eye line might be looking down a little bit, but it won't look weird, and that's the thing that you want to happen. You don't want it to look weird. You don't want it to look like the guy's just floating, unless it's Superman or something like that, and he just floats naturally because he can fly. But other than that, will you just have two guys standing in front next to each other, or guys around each other? Everybody can be in the right scale and perspective. Now, the other reason why I use a perspective grid is to establish my camera angle and help me to compose my overall shot. That's right, I'm doing the little hand things because that's how you show that you're composing the shot as a director. And believe it or not, as comic book artists and writers, especially if you're artist-writer combo, you're directing, so you have to know these things. Now, admittedly, for close-up shots, I'm not normally using the perspective grid, but for medium shots and for long shots, oh yeah, I gotta establish that first. And the reason why I gotta establish that first is because it's going to establish how much depth is to the shot, how much I'm going to show. If it's a long shot and I gotta show a superhero, say it's Batman, and I gotta just show Batman looking out over the city, it's over the shoulder type shot, you want to make sure that that ground plane is established for not only where Batman is standing, but then obviously so he can see the tops of the buildings in Gotham and all that type of stuff, or is Superman flying overhead, or Captain America running through the streets. So again, it gets to help you establish that scale of a shot. And say for instance you don't have to, or you don't want to use a double page spread or a full splash page, it helps you control scale within smaller panels so that you don't feel overwhelmed by what you're drawing, and everything still matches up and fits within the size that you need it to be. The other thing that I use it to do is help me compose my shots. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll skew my horizon line maybe to the left or to the right, so we'll run in different directions. And I'm doing this because I'm kind of sort of stealing space, but it just gives a different angle to the shot. It gives a different look. I can get more of an overhead look sometimes. It just adds a little flavor to it, a little dynamic action to it. And again, by setting the perspective line, or the horizon line a certain way, then obviously my perspective grid will work better for me. And once again, that's kind of comes with practice, and obviously this always comes back to practice. Q Allen Iverson.
We talking about practice, not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice.
When you're trying to manipulate all of these different elements by practice, if you run some practice panels and you're just practicing your craft, you're going to have some really cool ideas, and you're really going to come up with some cool things. I think you really like it. Alright fam, so that's my philosophy on why you should draw the perspective grid first. Again, it's going to help you establish that ground plane, and it's going to help you compose your shot and determine what kind of shot it's going to be. Is it going to be a long shot? It's going to be a medium shot? Maybe it's a close-up, so you don't have to really establish as much in the background as you thought originally. But it's just something to make you think more cinematically, and that's what I want to convey to you as a artist, to think cinematically when you're drawing your comics. And I think that's going to give a more dynamic look to your work and draw a lot more eyes and attention to you. So I hope you guys got a little value out of this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and hit that like button, because 2022, like button still lifeblood of YouTube as of now, until they change the algorithm, and then we'll figure it all out again. Yeah, go ahead and like this, share it all over the internet. If you really like this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and everybody hit that bell icon that lets you know when I post up a new video. You want to get a hold of me, you want to talk to me, I'm always available on Twitter and Instagram at DKG72. Also, I have a TikTok and a Facebook fan page, that's David Gordon 72. And if you guys really like what you see and you're really enjoying the content, please consider supporting by hitting me up on Patreon, DKG72 Comics, or by hitting some of the affiliate links in the description below. Purchasing items off of the affiliate links, including books like KWAME HIGHTOWER and the New Knights, and KWAME HIGHTOWER and the Man with No Name Deluxe Edition, helps the channel go further, because we do get a bit of a kickback from Amazon, but it doesn't affect you any, but it helps us out. So please consider doing that. I hope you guys had a wonderful new year. I hope you guys are being safe. Mask up wherever you go, because it's real out here in these battlefields. And let's just try to be nicer to each other in 2022. Yeah, let's try to be nicer to each other. Can't wait to get into the content. We got a whole lot of content for you guys. If you've been watching, you already see I've been killing it with the shorts game. Woo, shorts. And I just can't wait to keep bringing you more and more content. We got a lot planned this year. Hopefully, I'll be able to hold on to and keep doing the things I need to do and be as consistent as possible. So we're going to try this. We're going to make sure we're going to do it. We're going to do it. All right, guys, I'm rambling now. It's your boy DKG72, and I'm out. Peace.